turn that down to...
Turning our attention to the water, we are finally back online here with boats approaching the start gates. This is race number 78, originally scheduled for about 3 days ago. This is small boat Paradragons 2 Open, 200 meter. And this will be their second and final round. They are doing 2 rounds for time and not 3. 2 rounds. In lane 1 will be Adaptive Fusion. In lane 2, Para United. Lane 3, Para Alliance. Lane 4, Pads Dragonboat Racing Team. Lane 5, Out of Sight Dragons. And lane 6, Para Fusion.
Hey, Bob, is this the team that goes into Stratosphere?
I'm hoping so.
It is, by the looks of it.
Lane 4, look at that. They've moved, I think they've even gone to a more ridiculous setup on the car. They've got full wedge. Everybody's sitting behind row 5.
How many feet does she go up in the air?
I'm telling you, they're only going to be happy when the amplitude is like 8 feet.
Now, Mark hasn't seen this, so Mark's going to get a first hand of this team.
So this is Pads from the Philippines, and at their stroke rate in a 200, which is already phenomenal,
right?
And with them all sitting in the back of the boat, we are not exaggerating. The water was not touching the hull till about seat 3 the last time. The bow is just up 2.5, 3 feet in the air, which means the drummer's like 5 feet in the air. It's fantastic.
This should make for an interesting experience for that drummer.
I mean, I think they've been trying to say, back farther, back farther. You can almost see them drawing straws in the tent going, let's all sit behind 5.
If I had to make a bet, I'm not a bettor, but if I had to make a bet right now, my money's on boat 4.
Well, yeah, that's a pretty good bet. They've been class of their particular field all day long. They're a very decorated team. They come here with a lot of hardware from prior world championships, a lot of experience, and as we've seen, a lot of horsepower. But all of these teams come here basically racing in this Paradragon division. And as we explained earlier, 10 paddlers racing in a standard boat. They're not using small boats. They're using a 20-seat boat to try and grow the sport and basically plant the seeds for growing the Paradragon division. And it's also easier for the helms to steer. They get a little better hull run, but it is a lot more work.
The way the boats are trying to line up, and we've got a pretty good westerly wind right now, it looks like these boats are going to be fighting the wind trying to get into these boots.
They have been all afternoon, and even though the thunderstorms never directly hit us, the wind generated from those storms has picked the breeze up as it's blowing across the course. And you can see every one of the boats waiting for what looks like Para Alliance to come in are pointing themselves into the wind to do their best to try and just hold station.
Race 83 to marshalling now, please. Race 83 to marshalling.
And we may only have 5 boats in this because as I'm looking back, that is a small boat in the background warming. So I said we would have 6, but it looks like we will have 5. It appears that lane 3 is going to be empty. That was the spot formerly held by Para Alliance. So they are a scratch right now. Para Alliance will now be occupied by nothing but water. So we have boats in lanes 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Lane 1 is Adaptive Fusion. Lane 2, Para United. Lane 4, the Pads Dragonboat Racing Team. Lane 5, Out of Sight Dragons. And lane 6, Para Fusion.
Race 82, Northern Beaches to the marshalling immediately. Race 82, Northern Beaches to the marshalling now.
The boats are continuing to try and creep in. Boat 1, 45-degree angle to the boot is not a good place to start.
They are slightly past the boot as well. They'll get there.
Yep, they are backing up, trying to get realigned, bring it back in straight.
And looking on the footage, I believe those are the 22 Dragons. That is a Senior A women's small boat warming up. Those are the Wannsee Dragons behind them. That's going to be our next race. They are coming about and basically staging themselves so that we can get these races off quickly because we lost a lot of time with the weather.
Those boats in the back look like locusts just waiting to attack.
They just want their turn.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on. This is just another traffic jam. You get those down here, right?
Oh, yeah, we have lots of traffic jams.
Yeah, so it's rush hour.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
No way. You got to go to L.A. L.A.'s got the worst traffic.
Nobody said this was worse than L.A.
No, I wasn't going to draw an analogy to L.A.
We have LA County just down here in the black and white shirts, and they kind of know my humor about the driving in LA. Good to see you, kids.
I'm getting a quick wave. Hello, Tommy. Hello, Chris. Hello, Bucks County. Hello, DPW. Hello, LA. Everybody waving down there below us.
Hey, is that Tommy down there?
That is Tommy.
Hey, Tommy, how are you?
Chris giving a hug to Olivia Quinn, steerer for DPW this week.
They're off, guys. They're off.
Yeah. Why did he turn me off? We are underway here in race 78. And unsurprisingly, Pad's Dragonboat continues to try and launch their drummer into the stratosphere. That water is now back at about seat 2.5, pushing seat 3, and she looks like she's sitting on a high chair.
But look at boat number 6 on the outside. They're staying with them.
Well, they're doing what they can, although their drummer is much more grounded, but riding like Cleopatra down the race course for the final time today, the Pad's Dragonboat Racing Team drummer enjoying the view of the field she's had all day long, looking back at everybody else looking up at her through the sun-splashed finish line for the final time today. Pad's Dragonboat Racing Team for the Philippines is going to take it. Second out of lane 1, or check that, lane 6 is going to be Parafusion. Third out of lane 1 is going to be Adaptive Fusion. Fourth out of lane 2 will be Para United. And from Washington, D.C., your out-of-sight Dragons will round out race 78 in lane number 5.
That was an interesting ride for the drummer on pads. I have not seen a boat set up like that anywhere before.
That's the first time I've seen that, and I think it's fantastic.
My gosh, that lady was going to the stratosphere. I have not seen that. I don't know why they did it, but it seemed to work for them.
It was a fantastic job.
I think you guys should do that for the Philadelphia Dragonboat group.
I have to ask and see which drummer would be amenable to that.
I just kick 10 paddlers out, put 10 paddlers in the back, and just launch.
So Pads took that in a time of 56.016. Second was Parafusion, 59.78. Adaptive Fusion, 101.65. Para United in 103.97. And the Out-of-Sight Dragons in 110.511.
We are now going to race number 80. This is the Senior A Women's Small Boat. With the Senior A Small Boat, we've got 5 teams. We're also calling race number 83 Windy City ASP, with Windy City